Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters. Shalom, peace and greetings to you all, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Welcome to another episode of The Awakening, where we give you what you need so you can wake the hell up in these last days. I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, as you can see, The Awakening of Israel. And before we get started, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai for the abundance of all things, but most importantly, for allowing us all to be able to get on this call together and be edified and uplifted in the spirit. And through extreme sacrifice and example, we are able to do this. But today's class is going over what we all see in the news right now, World War III. Today's class called World War III is here. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? We're going to dive right into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to hold back. We're going to get some articles. We're going to get the scriptures. And we're going to bring it out just as it is. But let me go to the book of First Ezra. We're going to book of Second Ezra, chapter 15. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I put in thy mouth, saith the Lord." So the Lord is commanding us, brothers, to wake our brothers and sisters up to speak prophecy to our brothers and sisters. Show them what's coming to pass. Show them what they are not seeing, what they have been blinded to, and give them understanding. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So the things that we read are biblical. They have already been written on paper, and they are faithful and true. Everything that you see going on right now in this world, it's been already written years, centuries ago. And they are faithful and true. Just like it's prophesied for the Israelites to wake up in the last days, be thinking themselves, and coming back to serving Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Verse 3, it said, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." So we got to bring this truth out regardless of what our brothers and sisters think or what the other nations think. You know, we got to bring it out. Speak prophecy into the ears of my people, meaning the Israelites, the house of Israel, the nation of Israel. The whole purpose of us doing these classes is to edify our brothers and sisters and to uplift them in the spirit and give them understanding as to what's going on. That's the whole purpose of this class called The Awakening, or the series that we do week in and week out, you know, with current events, to give our people an understanding as to what's going on, you know. Speak prophecy. But it says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. What does that word mean? We don't normally use that in our households or in our day-to-day language, but what does that mean? The state of being unwilling or unable to believe something. Disbelief, lack of belief, unbelief, lack of credence. So the Lord is telling us, regardless how they feel, what they believe and what they don't believe, speak prophecy into their ears so that they can always say, or so that they can't say that nobody ever told them. So this is warning. This is forewarning to our brothers and sisters to let them know, thus saith the Lord. Verse 4, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." It is what it is. We can't change the script. It's already been written. So if you don't believe in prophecy, you don't believe in the words of the Most High, you don't believe that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. It is what it is. We want our brothers and sisters to understand and to come back to who they are and to believe, but the Bottom line is everybody's not going to believe. So we can't waste our time doing these things. We can just give them the word when they come and they ask and lead them the right way and speak prophecy into their ears. Verse 5, for behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. If you turn on your news right now, you're going to see all that going on right now. Right now. The sword. You see gun violence, killings at an all-time high right now. Famine. You see that over there in Gaza right now. You know, they shutting down everything. They won't let food come in. This is a forced famine over there. You know, pretty soon it's going to be a famine of the word, as it has been in times past. You see death at an all-time high. Look at the earthquake that happened in Syria and Turkey. 50,000 people gone, just like that. How many people have been killed between Israel and Gaza within the past month? Over 15,000. Death and destruction. Destruction everywhere. You see the U.S. bombing Iran. You see Israel bombing Gaza. Destruction everywhere. Earthquakes happening everywhere. This is all biblical. It's no coincidence. No coinky dink. It's no look at the Irish. Hey, this is biblical prophecy. Why? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. You see that? So we got to speak prophecy. We got to show you exactly what's going on in the world. You know, from there, let's go to Amos right quick. Amos chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. Amos chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. Because a lot of people think, well, this is just a free accident, or Israel's oppressing Gaza. Nah, this is biblical prophecy. Judgment at its finest, whether they want to believe it, whether you want to believe it or not. It's all biblical. Amos chapter 1, verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza. You ain't think that was in the Bible, did you? For 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity, meaning Israel, to deliver them up to Edom, so-called white man, the Greeks, the Grecians. They helped deliver us up to them. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Biblical prophecy unfolding right before your eyes. That's why we got to bring these things out. Now, I know it's been a minute. You ain't seen A.O.I. necessarily bring out videos right now, or as of lately, dealing with this war breaking out over there. But hell, it's been every group, every camp. It's all over the news. You got 99 videos. Hell, what's one more? You know? But here it is. We bringing out prophecy to show you, thus saith the Lord, that what's going on before your eyes is biblical. The Lord is giving them judgment right now. Now you got them walking and running through the streets, running them up. That's biblical as well. Let me show you. Let's go to 2nd Ezra one more time. We're going to go to the book of, chapter 9, excuse me. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And we're going to go to verse 3. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Matter of fact, I'll start at 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest, meaning the Most High, will begin to visit the world which he made. So when you start seeing these things unfold, that's letting you know what? That the Most High is beginning to visit this earth that he created. Number 3, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, you're seeing it every day, everywhere, all around the world, in diverse places, and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So this is biblical. This is already scripted, like he states in Isaiah. He declared the ending from the beginning. So you seeing uproars right now in the streets all over the U.S., all over the world with the Palestinians. What are they doing? They protesting in the world, in the streets, protesting what's going on over there in Gaza. They getting bombed. They getting oppressed over there. They getting put to death. Destruction. biblical. The Lord is letting you know when you start to see these things, people gonna start getting scared, paranoid, faint-hearted. You know, that's biblical. You will then start to understand, damn, the Lord spoke this. He already wrote this. He already designed it to happen. So it must happen. Matter of fact, let me go show you this quick article right quick. Due to those uproars, I'm going to bring out a couple articles. I'm not going to hold you long, but got to bring out a few things that's relevant that our people need to understand. Because while we as a nation, for the most part, those who still in the world, our people out there getting high, getting drunk, going to the club, trying to lay up with some, watching all the games, you're not realizing that these same individuals who over there bombing Gaza right now, they over here panicking. They scared out their mind. You see that? With threats on the rise. Hold on right quick. All right. It said with threats on the rise, many Jews, meaning the Jewish, in America are buying guns and seeking firearm training. Let's see if we can get a video to play. Well, I'm going to check that in a minute. It says as 3 pistol-holding Jewish women aligned their muzzles with the outdoor targets at the Magan AM gun range in Peru, California. One of the shooters is training. Danny, a granddaughter to Holocaust survivors on both sides of a family, fired a single shot. All right. Let me skip down. It says, with threats against American Jews on the rise, many have begun seeking firearms training and purchasing weapons out of fear for the safety of their communities and families, according to interviews CNN has conducted with gun range operators, firearm instructors, and Jews in the U.S. in recent days. So because of what's going on over there, now they in panic mode. Now they fear for their life. Their ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League, said it recorded 312 anti-Semitic incidents across the United States over the first 3 weeks after the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas broke out, including instances of harassment and assault. A person making death threats to Jewish people near a kosher restaurant with anti-Israel phrases, and a driver swerving toward Jewish children while shouting Allah Akbar are among the recent hate-related encounters, according to the league. All right. Now more than ever, the rise in anti-Semitism, I feel we have a responsibility as Jews to speak up and speak out, and also know how to protect ourselves, because the reality is people don't seem to want us around, and it's hard. They say they don't want you around. It's not because you bombing them, it's because you wicked as hell. And this is judgment coming on you. You know, you feeling guilt. Where the Obadiah say, shame will cover thee because of your pride. You think you can just do what the hell you want to do, set up and do wickedness all around the world, and you don't think nothing gonna come in return? But I was the reason I even looked this up, because I was watching the news this morning, and one of the things it brought out was the fact that gun training and gun sales had increased 300% after that broke out over there in the Middle East, so-called Middle East. So these people in panic mode, they're going out buying guns and they're getting training. So that just lets you know that we need to be on a high level of awareness as a nation of people. We, as Israel, we need to know what the hell going on, because, you know, we can get shot just for saying something out the way. You know, not that we fear these things, but hey, these people on edge right now. So we need to know what the hell going on. They going out getting special training. They getting new weapons, paranoid. So when you back somebody up against the wall, hey, expect them to come out swinging, fighting for their life. But not to be fearful of nothing that they got going on, just bringing it out to the forefront that they paranoid right now. And they out here buying guns galore, training, doing things they wouldn't normally do due to the fact that somebody putting foot in their head. But just wanted to bring that out right quick. Let me go to the book of Luke right quick. Book of Luke, chapter 21. We're going to go to verse 25. Yeah. Luke 21:25, and it reads, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. The sea and the waves roaring." All that I just read in that verse is going on right now. Signs in the sun, signs in the moon. You got blood moons popping up all the time. You know, the earth is distressed. The nations are distressed. The seas and the waves roaring. You seeing tsunamis, floods happening everywhere. Verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So I brought that out to show you that due to what's going on in the earth, in the world, men's hearts, women's hearts, they starting to fail the meaning they mind. They don't know what to do. They going crazy. They running around like they say, like a chicken with the head cut off. Running in the walls, they don't know which way to go. They don't know what to believe or what not to. Their minds are failing them right now. The people they used to look to for leadership are failing them right now. Hell, the president right now can't even stand up without falling over. He can't even remember or have a decent conversation because he can't even put his words together. Old Sleepy Joe. But nonetheless, because of the uproars that's happening in the earth, people are beginning to become paranoid. They going out buying guns, buying up all the ammo. So we bring these things out to alert our brothers and sisters as to the signs of the time and to what's actually going on. So be mindful of these things. Next, I want to go to another article that's the brothers brought out the other day, but we got to bring it out because this is something that a lot of people are asleep on and have no idea as to what's going on. But if you haven't known, now you know. New legislation will require women like men to sign up for the potential draft. So due to World War III being on the brink and the armed branches of the military aren't meeting their quotas, being able to recruit members like they used to, everything is down, just like sales, just like the economy. Everything is crumbling here. So they done came up with new legislation that they're trying to push to have women drafted to the war, to these services, to the army. Let's read a little bit about it. It says a U.S. Senate committee has approved legislation that would, if enacted, require young women to register for selective service alongside men. And in a rare event of war or other national emergency, be drafted for the first time in the nation's history. So I know that might seem to be aware of what's going on. If it ain't hitting the news, but they trying to push it nonetheless. Understand that. They trying to draft the women. Desperate times, desperate measures. You know, during the Vietnam War between 1964 and 73, nearly 2 million men were drafted in the U.S., according to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. You had over 2 million men that were drafted back in the 60s and 70s. And we all know that there's more women than men. And when you look around in today's society, you got more women trying to be like men anyway. So I guess they looked at that and they said, hey, well, hell, since they want to be men, hey, we might as well draft them to do what men do. But the same people that you're voting for, rain, sleet, and snow, to put in office to reign over you, to continue to oppress you, those are the same ones who are trying to enlist the women or draft the women to put them in the war or put them in battle. All right, let me scroll down some, see what else they got. All right, it says the new legislation authored by Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Jack Reed will remove any references to male. Hold on. All right, let me get back to it. The new legislation authored by Senate Armed Service Committee Chairman Jack Reed will remove any reference to male in current law, leaving women on an equal playing field. So while everybody running around with the you can be whatever type of gender you want to be, hey, they pushing new legislation right under your nose. Since you don't want to be a male or a female, you want to be identified as non-binary or binary, whatever it may be. You don't want to have male or female genitalia or be identified as that. Now you can be drafted. And we see how long that go. But not everyone is on board. Of course they won't be. It goes against the fairy tale narrative that's being pushed here. It says committee member Josh Hawley, representative of, I guess, Missouri or Montana, announced his opposition to the measure, tweeting Friday, American women have heroically served in and alongside our fighting forces since our nation's founding. It's one thing to allow American women to choose this service, but it's quite another to force it upon our daughters, sisters, and wives. Missourians feel strongly that compelling women to fight our wars is wrong, and so do I. I mean, when you fight for equality, that's what you're gonna get, right? When the men were trying to get you to stay in a traditional role, you wanted rights, but now they pushing a narrative that you're not comfortable with. Now it's pushback. Women have been serving at all levels of military since 2013 when the Pentagon opened up frontline ground combat positions to them. And supporters of the Reid legislation say it's high time that women sign up, particularly since the service has changed dramatically since the Vietnam War. And that's the guy who actually pushing that. He look like a damn creep anyway, but he the one pushing this narrative. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else in this? That's about all I'm going to pull out of it. But nonetheless, this is biblical. These things that are happening are biblical. And when you see these things, you know damn well the women going to go off. I had another article, another video, but I had to go digging for it again. But the purpose behind it was to show how the women were reacting to this legislation being passed or being presented to be passed. And they were going crazy, flipping from taking the men's clothes off to putting the robes back on and stirring the pot in the kitchen again, saying they didn't want these rights. They want to be back in the kitchen again. Now they want to be wives, all because a man put legislation on the table to say you could be drafted to the war. Now you want to revert back to what you were supposed to be from the beginning. But let me get that out the scriptures right quick. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 16. 2 Ezra chapter 16, and we're going to go to verse 33. And it reads, the virgins, meaning the women, shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. This is what they pushing here in Babylon. The women are telling the men they don't need men. They don't want to be married. They just want to be thoughts and whores. You know, sleep around, do all they want to do, make money, have fun, have a good time. Having no husbands. Now when this is presented, now they want to go back and revert back to being wives. Now they mourning. Why are they trying to do this? Why are they trying to push this on them? Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. That's what you're going to see going on around the world. You see it going over there in Israel and in Gaza right now. They husbands being put to death, the kids being put to death, the wife, they bombing hospitals, grocery stores, even the folks that try to roll in there with first aid or with supplies, they bombing them up as well. They trying to slaughter and wipe them off the map. You know, they ain't worried about no ceasefire. They trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But brought that out just to show that the women ain't gonna go for this. Men ain't gonna go for it either. They're gonna start to mourn behind this war. Now all of a sudden, I guarantee you're gonna see an increase of women and men, but more so women saying, "Stop the war, stop the violence." When beforehand, before that legislation came out, they didn't give a damn. But now, as they continue to push this narrative, they're gonna be trying to shut their war down. Watch what I tell you. But from there, let's go to another article. Matter of fact, What other one was that? Just wanted to bring this out as well. It ain't just Israel and Hamas going at it. The U.S. over there battling it out as well with Iran. Says U.S. launches second round of airstrikes on Iran-backed groups. It says attacked American troops. So you got some of them U.S. embassies over there being attacked as well. Says the U.S. military on Wednesday said American warplanes struck a weapons storage facility in eastern Syria that officials said was being used by Iran-backed militants responsible for dozens of drone and rocket attacks against American troops in the region over the last 3 weeks. So don't be fooled that it's just Israel and Gaza going at it, or Israel and Hamas. Even though they bombing Gaza and saying they going after Hamas, but they bombing a particular city and area. But the U.S. is actually over there bombing too. They flying their drones around. They are committing war crimes as well. But nonetheless, it said it was the second such strike in the past 2 weeks. Today, as President Biden's direction, U.S. military forces conducted a self-defense strike on a facility in eastern Syria used by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and affiliated groups. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said in a statement, this strike was conducted by 2 U.S. F-15s against a weapons storage facility. So they over there bombing as well. They going back and forth with a little small battle right now. But it's going to escalate from where it is now. You know, I just want to bring this out as well. Few things just to bring and put on the table so our people will understand what's actually going on. So if you can see this, let me see. All right. We're going to go into nuclear bombs. These are that the powers that be are actually producing and trying to increase in. Nuclear bomb map shows impact of new U.S. weapon on world's major cities. Excuse me. All right. Modeling of what a new nuclear warhead being developed by the United States military would do to cities around the world shows, while far from the largest ever built, it will be capable of killing hundreds of thousands of people with a single detonation. All right, the Department of Defense announced last week that it was developing a new variant of the B-61 gravity bomb. So they still create new bombs, even with the arsenal that they already have, which was among a series of weapons first produced in the 1960s during the Cold War nuclear arms race between the U.S. and the Soviet Union or Russia. All right. And hey, that's funny right there when you see this sign on this little pennant. How automatically they already had this ready, but they ain't got one for Gaza or Palestine, letting you know who back they actually got or who they actually dealing with. But it says the B-1 or the B-6113 is intended to strengthen deterrence of adversaries and assurance of allies by providing the Biden administration with additional options against certain harder and larger military targets, the Pentagon said in a statement. Officials added that the bomb variant is intended to be capable of an explosive yield similar to an older model, the B-61-7, which the U.S. still has in its arsenal, and of which 600 of estimated to be have been produced. 600 of them have been produced. That warhead has yielded an equivalent to 340 kilotons of TNT, around 23 times the destructive power of the one dropped on Hiroshima, Japan at the end of World War II. So they out there trying to create something or have created something that's 23 times the destruction power of the one that was dropped on Japan back in the day. The nuke that they dropped back in the 40s is 23 times more powerful today. 23 times more powerful. Unbelievable. This is a blast radius map that they actually have for several different cities in this article. London being the big city, but you can see how far that blast would actually stretch out. Let me see if it got some more details. Say a map showing modeling of a B-61-7 nuclear detonation over London. So this is the old one that they shown, not the one that's 23 times stronger, but the old model. Says the yellow circle detonates the fireball radius, the inner gray circle, the moderate damage blast radius, the orange circle, the thermal radiation radius, and the outer gray circle, the light blast damage. You see that? That's a pretty big chunk right there when you look at that itself. That's for miles on in or on out. While it is far from the most powerful nuclear bomb in America's arsenal, modeling of the impact it would have on major cities shows it would still bring widespread death and destruction if ever detonated. All right, let's see. Maps produced by Alex Wellerstein. Hey, that's the damn that's Amalek right there. So-called Jew wish. A professor and historian of nuclear technology shows that if detonated over central London, the B-617 would engulf an area from famous landmarks Downing Street to Somerset Hall in a fireball, which would effectively vaporize anything within it. The main blast radius would cover the entirety of the city center, with near total destruction of buildings from Kensington to East End. This is an approximately 3 square mile radius from the blast. Experienced third-degree burns. So if you was in epicenter, you would experience third-degree burns. Over 567,000 people would die, and nearly 1.6 million would suffer injuries from one bomb. From one. But when you look and do the research, each one of these mega or power countries, U.S., Russia, China, they have thousands of nuclear bombs in their arsenal. Thousands. But one will do all that. Kill over 500 people, 500,000 people. I just wanted to bring this out as well, just to show you what is actually going on behind the scenes. These people are actually out there trying to create a nuclear bomb or a gravity bomb, so they say. That's 23 times stronger than the one that they dropped on Hiroshima, Japan, back in the 40s. 23 times stronger. They got different maps for other countries. Paris. I thought I seen Tokyo. If it'll show. It won't show it. All right. But nonetheless, let me pull out a few scripts, because a lot of our people think that it's something that they can do to escape this. You can't escape this judgment coming to this earth. You can't escape it. Point blank, period. Let me go to Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6. And then we're going to go to verse 14. Is this what I want? No, this ain't even. Revelation chapter 6, verse 14. And it reads, "And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together," that's that new, "and every mountain and island were moved out of their places." So what is that saying right there? That if you hide in the mountains, you hide on the islands, guess what? You're going to feel the power of these nukes when they hit. They're going to be moved out of places. Islands will be moved. They already be moving just from earthquakes. So imagine when nukes are hitting, when they're 23 times stronger than the ones that hit Hiroshima back in the day. You can't run from this. Understand that. Let me read verse 15. "And the kings of the earth, and the great men and rich men, and the chief captains and mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains." Those are people trying to hide in those underground bunkers. trying to hide in the mountains like they do in NORAD in Colorado behind the mountains. They got underground or under mountain or in mountain bunkers, facilities all over this earth. But you still can't hide from this. And verse 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. That's why they hitting them bunkers, because they already know what it is. They're going to be trying to fire them nukes to try to stop Israel, to stop Yahweh from doing what he got to do. Understand that. That's why they're going to hit them bunkers trying to hide from them. That's the reason why they're going to start firing the nukes. Because they're going to go to war with each other just shooting regular missiles. You know what I'm saying? The ballistic missiles, whatever they got. The last thing they're going to try to do is come with the nukes. But when they do so, they're going to go try to hide in their bunkers as if that's going to make a difference. But the way that we, as a nation of people, need to prepare is by keeping these commandments. That's what we need to do. I'm going to show you that right quick in order to be hid. Because we don't have the money, we don't have the resources to hide from anything like that. And the Lord knows these things. That's why he commanded. Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. And we're going to read the 3. That's why the Lord tells us to gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Gather yourselves together, knowing what's going on in these last days. Gather yourselves together and start building each other up. Go hard and waking your brothers and sisters up. Go hard with demanding that you brothers and sisters do what's right. You know, gather yourselves together. Start rehearsing the righteous acts. Before the decree bring forth, meaning the prophecy, before the day pass of the chaff, meaning, I keep reading, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. You said that twice. So that means do what? Gather yourselves together. Come back to who you are and start keeping these commandments. Verse 3, seek ye the Lord, not Esau, not your job. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek, meaning all you obedient of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness. Righteousness is what? Keeping the commandments. Seek meekness. Seek to be humble. Seek to be obedient to the Lord. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. You see that? So you can be hid when it's crunch time, when the missiles is dropping, when that heat wave is sweeping through the lands, when that famine sweeping through the land, when the sword and the famine coming through the land, so you may be hid. Look at what verse 4 says. For Gaza shall be forsaken, meaning they're going to be through, done with, forgotten about. Forsaken. And Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. So gather yourselves together, brothers and sisters. That's the only way we as a nation of people are going to get out of this jam. We praying and hoping for it to kick off because we know what the end result is. He pleading with the other nations on our behalf. So when he gathered them together to go to battle, he doing that for us. So we shouldn't be praying for the healing of these other nations. We need to be praying for the uplifting and healing of our nation. We need to be praying for a speedy destruction of this wicked kingdom that we dwelling in right now. Why? Because it's biblical prophecy. Where do we start off with? 2 Ezra 15:1. Speak prophecy into the ears of my people, our people, the nation of Israel. Show them what's going on so they understand what they need to be doing. They need to be keeping their head up instead of in their hand watching their phone all day and pay attention to the signs of the time. You need to be gathering yourselves together and repenting and coming back to keeping these commandments. You need to be going hard to study and show yourself approved to the Most High so that you will be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Because he coming back. It got to happen. He already spoken. The movie already laid out. The script is already written. It got to play itself out. But we, on the other hand, it's not like we can fly to another country or get our army to fight for us because it's going to get crunch time. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. We have to prepare ourselves by studying and reading the scriptures, build ourselves up. But I'm going to go to the book of Exodus right quick to show you what we must do is the same thing that was done in times of past or times of before or in ancient times. I put it that way. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 14. We're going to go to 13. And this is a testimony showing you what happened when we came out of Israel and the Egyptians were following after us to put us to death. All right. Verse 13, it says, and Moses said unto the people, because at that particular time we just left out of Egypt, really don't know what's going on. We know that Moses is here fighting for us. We know the Lord is fighting for us, and we've been freed. Now we walking, trying to go somewhere. And we like, woo, they finally let us go. So now we on the way out of there. And we turn around and look, and we see them coming. They chasing us with horses and chariots. We know they ain't coming to give us no hugs. They coming to kill us and take us back. So the people is in a panic. They faint-hearted. They leaning on Moses. Hey, man, what you bring us out here for? What we going to do? This is what Moses said. Exodus 14 and 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not. That's the common narrative that you read in the Bible constantly. The Lord tell us to fear not. Fear him, but don't fear nothing else. Fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. You see that? So Moses told us to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. That's all we can do in these last days. We ain't got no army. We ain't got no economic or military might to do anything else. Hell, the nations can't do nothing but fire nukes themselves and go try to hide in a bunker. But we know that we don't have these things. All we got to do is have faith in Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Just like Moses said, we got to stand still and receive and see the salvation of the Lord. How do we get there? By enduring, keeping the commandments. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, I think. Yeah, Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 13. And it reads, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So we got to endure by keeping these commandments, regardless of their unbelief or how they screw their face up or how troublesome times may get or may be. We got to endure this thing until the end. That's how we should be saved. That's how we get that salvation from the Lord. That's how we will be hid in the day of the Lord's anger, by keeping his commandments. But this has been another episode of, let me bring this down. Another episode of The Awakening, where we give you what you need so you can wake the hell up. I know it was short, sweet, straight to the point, but that's the whole purpose, to give our brothers and sisters an eye-opening shot so that they can see what's going on, pay attention, do more research. But I pray and hope that you brothers and sisters learn something for today's class. And on that note, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Shout out to you brothers and sisters of A.O.I. and all around the world who are enduring in this truth. Keep pushing, understanding and knowing that your work is not in vain, according to 1 Corinthians 15:58. Keep putting in work, keep doing what you do. Continue to endure until the end so that you will be saved. But I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I., The Awakening of Israel. Appreciate you brothers and sisters tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. If you got any questions, anything you want to hear about, hit your brothers and sisters up at the email or go to the website. But on that note, say shalom, shalom, peace and greetings to you all, and we out. Shalom.